I'm having a hard time getting back into making videos. For one thing, the process has changed a little bit for me with my new equipment, and it's just making it harder, and the editing is completely different, and I'm just having a hard time with that. For another thing, I've got a lot of creative projects on my plate, and I kind of want to follow through on all of them. Today I want to talk about parenting. My kid is adorable, and she was such an adorable little toddler. Parenting can be so much fun. The kid started talking. I swear she was practically born talking, and from the minute she learned how to talk, she never stopped talking. She's just funny, and she's smart, and she's cute, and I'm really, really proud of her. But parenting is really hard. It's just difficult to be put in a position to have to make decisions based on what is best for another person, rather than based on what you want and what might be best for you, is really, really hard. And I've seen that parents do this thing with their preteens and their teenagers that kind of bugs me, and I think makes everything harder for everybody. You know, every adult human being has had the experience of really connecting with something as an adolescent. That might have been basketball or Pokemon or science fiction. For me, it was Dungeons and Dragons and books. Anne McCaffrey, Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, those things made a huge, huge difference in my life, and those were the things that I connected with. And I was lucky enough to have a parent that also connected with those things. I see in my siblings, they had a different experience growing up, and they didn't always have that connection with the grown-up in their lives. And I see that with the teenagers that I know now, that sometimes the parent will say, oh, well, you know, Harry Potter, that's fantasy, it's stupid, it's silly, it's not important. And if you do that to your kids, if you discount the things that are important to them, you're really missing out on half the joy of having a teenager in your life. And there's no reason to do that. Having a teenager in your life is hard enough already. Why make it any harder? Why damage that relationship that way? You have an opportunity to learn about something that you didn't know about before. And it may seem silly on the surface, but that's probably because you don't understand it very well. You can learn about it and get excited about it with your kid and grow as a person from this experience. It's true that teenagers think they know everything, and most of the time they don't. But it's also true that sometimes parents think they know everything, and sometimes they don't. I would just really recommend that if you know kids that are really into something that you think is silly, I think that you should take a closer look at that silly thing, because it's probably not nearly as ridiculous if you really understand it as it seems on the surface. And they're only teenagers for a really short period of time. You don't get to do this twice. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.